in this video. Hello everybody, and welcome to the first trigonometry video on the channel. Yep, we are done with the geometry series and we are moving on to trigonometry. So I don't think there's much to say except thank you so much for all the people who've watched my videos so far, and I really hope you like, subscribe, and hit that notification. Without further ado, let's move on to the lesson. Today's lesson is about the trigonometric identities, or Pythagorean identities. What these are trigonometric equations which are derived from the Pythagorean theorem. So I know that sounds a little complicated, but it's pretty simple when you think about it. If you remember in my geometry series, I had an explanation and proof of sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. And on the bottom, I have the other two trigonometric identities. Now, these pretty much say the same thing, except they use different trigonometric functions. Now, these are pretty much always used for the same purpose as sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1, mainly for simplifying the equations. But they are not as commonly used as sine squared plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1, because that equation, there's a lot of sine and cosine in geometry and other things, so it's a lot more common than the other two, but the other two are still used, and it's definitely worthwhile to talk about them. So, they're pretty simple. I think that's an explanation, and now I think it's time we prove them. Alright, so the proof of the first equation, tan squared theta plus 1 plus secant squared theta plus 1 is equal to secant squared theta, is pretty simple. First, you have to take sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1 and divide everything by cosine squared theta. So, what happens when you do that is that sine squared theta over cosine squared theta is sine theta over cosine theta whole squared, which is tangent squared theta. Cosine squared theta divided by cosine squared theta is equal to 1, so plus 1. And 1 divided by cosine squared theta is secant squared theta. And that's the formula, and that's an identity. Now, one more thing before I move on to the next proof. What I mean by identity is that the statement always holds true. Sometimes people will say identities like this, tan squared theta plus 1 with 3 lines instead of 2 to show that this is an identity. But you can just use the equal sign. They're both just fine. And I just wanted to say that because there are some trigonometry textbooks which do have that in them. So I just like you to know about that. Alright, for our next one, the proof is very similar. We again start with sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. But this time divide both sides by sine squared theta, giving us 1 plus cotangent squared theta is equal to cosecant squared theta. And then if you rearrange, you get cotangent squared theta plus 1 is equal to cosecant squared theta. And that's about it. That's the identity. And I think that's good. Thank you very much. See you in the next one, and bye-bye.